So this is part 4. Yeah, part 4, Rome and the Greenland theory. Welcome everyone. If you haven't seen my previous videos on this subject, well, I got them. They're on my channel. Hold on, I'll show them to you here in a second. I'm waiting. I'm opening up all the chats. I've got a lot of stuff open. So while we're like, let me get all these chats open. We're just going to watch this short 1-minute clip from a show that I watched called Britannia. Because I was going to play some Roman music for the stream, but it doesn't matter, right? The point of this clip, though, it wasn't only about Rome taking over Britannia and becoming the London or Londinium. It's the fact of what the general says at the end of this video. When Rome marched on your people, they not only fought your people, they fought your pantheon of gods. And you'll hear them say it in this. This has to do with video 2 of this subject, how Rome took over the world with religion. The third way was secret societies. Now, this topic that I'm talking about today, underground cities in Greenland, is really interesting because it's a subject in alternative media that's been kind of banned. That has to deal with dumbs and human trafficking underground. But I could cover this subject in this video and do it in a very clever way with U.S. Army declassified videos and show you that, yeah, dumbs are real, and we built some in Greenland. But why? We'll talk about that. So, yeah, let me just pull the chat up. I didn't have the, there we go. Alright. I see the chats now. Oh, you know what? I forgot to pull up the,
Behold, gods of Britannia.
I forgot to open the restream chat up.
Rome,
It's alright.
and where I walk is Rome.
Oh, come on. I hate these captchas. Oh. You know how many passwords I have online? Oh, they just paid me on LB1. Alright, that was the restream chat I was opening up. I'll get this open. They make you do these captchas. That's so I can talk to people on DLive and Twitch at the same time. Got to open this up ahead of time. No big deal. So how is everyone? How many people, I don't know how many people have seen the previous lectures I've done on Rome and the Greenland theory. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around if you can't understand it. Basically what it is, it's the idea. I've done 3 videos on this subject already. Part 1. These were carried over from YouTube channels I've had deleted. So it's not very easy to put out like research videos when I'm doing them in sections because each one of these is like an hour long. The first one was Rome and the Greenland theory. I've done multiple videos on Rome, the bull cults of Mithra. Then Rome and the Greenland theory part 2, which was religion. Rome and the Greenland theory part 3, which is secret societies. And what's interesting about this subject is I can kind of talk about this today and correlate it with things that are directly going on the political level on Earth and go under the radar because whatever's going on, it's not Romans running things right now. In fact, I got a theory about what might be going on, and I pulled up a movie clip. Anyone ever see the movie Casino when the mobsters were skimming the skim in Las Vegas and they were being skimmed? That's what I think is going on with some of the corrupt rhinos and Democrats. They weren't paying Rome their tribute. They were skimming the skim. And I think this is what led, and it's starting to make a lot of sense. So, yeah, not too much into that. This is about underground bases in Greenland. So, how hard is that to believe, right? Well, first of all, if you're new to the subject, the Roman flag, not the Roman, the Greenland flag is the international symbol of power. It's run by the proxy of Denmark, which ties into Vatican banking. And why would you go to Greenland, of all places? Well, why wouldn't you? Nobody's Greenland from a strategic point. And I'm going to show you why the U.S. Army went there during the Cold War to spy on Russia. We built underground bases in Greenland. Not only just underground bases, but I think they pretty much admitted to building dams and deep underground tunnels that connect all of Greenland together. And I believe it's only like 100 or 200,000 people that actually live on Greenland. It's not a lot of people. So things get very interesting. Well, let me pull the chats up here. How many people we got on here? Good amount, 21. Hi, Steph. Hello, Will. Your favorite color is black? Well, I've actually had this shirt for a while. It's just a pinstripe black shirt. I'm reading some of the comments here. So I think most of the subs I'm looking at here probably have seen my other Greenland and Rome videos. That's what I'm looking for right here. I don't think anyone's new to the subject or the idea. And yes, the Romans I am talking about at the end of the day are the reptilians. What is the currency for Rome? Well, it's not like elite Democrats, okay? It's not money. They created money to rule the planet, but they made a fail-safe system that no one could ever own more of it than they have. Which is why we believe they went to Greenland, is because Greenland is sitting on a huge strategic supply of gold. Why mine the gold out of Greenland when you could just move your capital there and rule from there, knowing that you sit on more of the natural resources? Well, gold has other applications, so does silver, uranium, and other natural resources. So the idea was, that Rome moved there in the Middle Ages. We have 1,000 years that is hidden. They set up proxies to run the world through Templar banking. One of the main proxies being Switzerland, which is home of the CIA, which was set up by George Bush, Skull and Bones, proxy for Zion. He was a shill for Zion. What do you want me to tell you about George Bush? And the capital of the Roman Empire was the city of Babylon. Constantinople, which is modern-day Turkey, the true capital, was secretly moved to the new city of Thule. Now, I call it Thule. It's spelled Thule. I know some people are telling me it's pronounced Thule. Look, if you're here for linguistics, you're at the wrong channel. I cover every ancient. There are so many the Tower of Babel. Okay, we're going to sit here and discuss the inconsistencies in human language. Like Thule, where I'm from, should be pronounced Thule, not Tohuli. Okay, I don't look at it and know it's got special way it's pronounced. But Thule, if you did not know, was it's a mythical city in Greece, which was the furthest city northland, which was where Hyperborea was supposed to be from. This ties in with the Nazi beliefs. You have the Thule Society with the blonde hair, blue-eyed. Oh, look at me. Aryans that came out of the Caucasus Mountains. Yeah, and that actually is true. Blue-eyed people came along later, and I have blue eyes, so what do you want me to tell you? But yeah, we do have a Thule air base in Greenland. Now, this ain't the underground base. This is an air base, but it's still interesting because it's tying in with Roman Greek words, Thule, which is a mythical city, and also a Nazi secret society. And so we're going to play some of these videos. Hold on.
The frozen north. Ultima Thule, a land that for centuries...
Thule, yeah. He even calls it Thule. Should I just say Thule?
But which is also of deep strategic importance.
See, that's Deep strategic
Greenland, a
importance.
self-governing province of Denmark, is blanketed by ice, apart from a few coastal areas where the ice recedes briefly in the summer. In the northwestern corner lies Thule, home to America's most northerly and remote military outpost.
Now, I happen to know also, this is also a base of Space Command now, which is highly interesting. Now, things are going to get more stranger with the symbolism, especially tying into Rome, not just Thule, but yeah. So the United States, they did build a base there. And here's the documentary. It's 23 minutes long if you want to watch it. This was actually filmed by the U.S. military when they built it. I'm not going to play this whole thing, though. But if you want to watch the documentary...
Behind these icy ramparts lies one of the great military secrets of our time, Operation Blue Jay. Here, where temperatures drop to 50 below zero and winds rise to 150...
Another thing with the symbolism. See, when you watch documentaries with Kinney, okay? Yeah, we're going to stop and pause. I talk during movies. Operation Blue Jay. This is really interesting. Blue, like the Blue Bloods. That is the bloodline of the Illuminati, or the Romans. So I don't think Operation quote-unquote Blue Jay to set up the Thule Air Base was a coincidence either.
miles an hour gale force.
The symbolism gets even more strange, especially with Camp Century. Where do I show you that?
Where bright sun is abruptly succeeded by dense fog or blinding snow, American ingenuity and daring have built a new outpost in this country's defense. A giant air base on the top of the world. Now, at last, the story can be told. Blue Jay goes back to December 1950, when communist aggression was in full flood.
1950, when communist aggression was in full flood. You won't hear that shit in modern news reporting, will you? We can't even talk about the communists now. 1950s. You better snitch them communists out. No, now it's snitch out the Trump supporters, right? Yeah, please. This is another reason why I don't think Rome is being, I believe, challenged right now by whatever represents the Asian theater over there, China, which I think actually might be the tall alien whites, because it's not the Draconians, because Rome knew that they could rule the world from religion. This is really important. You don't shut down churches. They're burning churches in Canada right now. Lockdown, okay? Bread and circuses, okay? Rome realized that you had to have bread and circuses, the Colosseum games. You had to keep people fed and entertained. It kept their mind off corruption and politics. Don't you think it would make more sense for CNN to have the NFL and NBA not go woke, have Americans stay drunk, watch football on Sunday? Oh no, we're going to get woke. And now everyone's pissed off because they can't go watch sports. And what are they doing now? They're watching politics, and then they're criticizing Joe Biden every day. So this is why I don't think Rome is being challenged right now. But it gets even more strange. So you know that we have the Thule base there, right? This is an Air Force base, supposedly under Space Command right now. Why were they building these bases here? Some of the theory is, well, it has strategic importance, but the theory is Rome runs the whole entire planet. They have 212 countries in their empire, and Rome looks at, look, we got to have wars, we got to have human sacrifice. Rome doesn't run on the acquisition of wealth like Democrats, drug dealers, and politicians. Their currency is human suffering, which is loss feeding, what the reptilians feed on, and occult ritual. Why would Rome need outside people having access to their secret base in the ice to come there and perform rituals? Sacrifices to Molech, to be more specific, right? Ritual is very important to them in human suffering. They're not like Democrats, okay? They're not here just to line their pockets lying to people. And at the end of the day, when you understand what I do about Rome and how these people operate, they look down on Democrats. They're like, you were paid off by money. You're not loyal to shit. You're going to the gulag too. They're useless idiots. However, what's very strange, a lot of the Roman empires were never run by communism. They were run by republics, like the Roman Republic. going back to oh wait, I'll show you that in a second. The Roman eagle. That's the American eagle. No, that's the Roman eagle. Now, going like back to what's going on now. They don't want all this chaos going on, right? Whenever they felt they need to reset the world, there wasn't no like quote unquote great reset like being told by Charles Schwab, right? No, we're going to have a flood, like Zeus in the Great Flood, right? We're just going to flood the whole thing and start all over, right? And that's kind of how they operated. But now we have this. We were always slaves, but this type of slavery they're trying to put into play now is not the same as the Roman way of slavery. We're not getting bread and circus. We're not getting religion. We're not getting, yeah. Maybe Democrats could learn something from the Romans on the way they operated their massive cities. But Democrats ain't too smart, are they? So anyway, yeah, we have the secret base, secret U.S. air base in Greenland. But things get even more stranger, and that's here. Let me show you. I got one clip pulled up here. Where is that? Oh, here. Let's play this. This was really interesting. I'm only playing this because of what's going on in modern times. And Barak, you're in the chat. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And Barak, Discord. I talked to Canubis on Steam yesterday, and I talked to True Scout Girl. Everything should be good in Discord land. Yeah. Let me play just the beginning of this. This was really interesting. This came out in 2019 in August.
President Donald Trump expressed an interest in the purchase of Greenland, only to be swiftly rejected by Danish officials. Although the proposal was not sincere, it does underscore the importance of the massive ice-covered island. So, what's going on in Greenland and what's at stake for the United States? I'm your host Shirvan and welcome to Caspian Report. In the age of
and we're not going to watch any more of that because, but yeah. Donald Trump made a statement in 2019 that he wanted to quote-unquote buy Greenland. Now, we have the full Air Force base, Space Command base there, which he started. He started Space Force. It was Space Command until Trump set up Space Force. You know Space Force, the one that Jen Psaki joked about in the press conference when she was asked about it? Space Force, who did all the data packet captures on the night of the election? Oh. Yeah, that's Space Force. So, yeah. Now, this was a documentary I found. In the 1960s, there was a top-secret project done by our U.S. military called Project Iceworm, where they set up a base called Camp Century to spy on the Russians. Before we even start with Camp Century, there's two C's in the beginning of each of those two words. That stands for 33, which is the 33rd degree of the Masons, and the Roman Centurion. The Roman Centurion was a military officer in Rome who was of high command. So calling a remote U.S. Army base Camp Century is starting to make a lot of sense, especially when it's in Greenland. My theory is, and when I show you this documentary, Project Iceworm and Camp Century was a front to set up DUMBs and underground tunnels in Greenland. They might have had them previously, who knows, through shifting of the glaciers, the tunnels could have moved, they had to make new ones, but in the 1960s they did it. And they did it under this bullshit project called Project Iceworm, where they were building this remote outpost under the ice to spy on Russia. And then they abandoned it. They left a nuclear-powered generator beneath the ice in Greenland? Are you kidding me? So, this documentary I found.
It was in May 1959, after more than a year of
1959. This is when it happened.
The Authority of Army Engineers conducted the final search to select a site for Camp Century. Listen now to the voice of Captain Tom Evans, the young officer who was in charge of...
Now, all this military video right here, this is all stage shit. You know how cold it is in Greenland? They're going to show you these guys digging in the ice. But
got underway.
this documentary's like 27 minutes long. I'm going to try to get through this kind of quickly. Flooding in Germany, Belgium. There was also flooding in Israel, flooding in Philadelphia, flooding in New York, flooding in a few other places. You're preaching to the choir, Lisa. I know what's going on. Yeah, watch the water. That was a post from somebody. What was that letter of the alphabet? It said, watch the water.
Colonel Cooper, commanding officer of the United States Army Polar Research and Development Center, was with me when we made the final reconnaissance.
Trump is not Knights of Malta. Mike, I already showed you who he was. He's a senator of the Club of Rome. That was in the third installation of this series I did on Rome and the Greenland theory. So was Elon Musk. Trump was not a Mason. No, he was a member of the Senators of Rome, which was like this aristocratic club out of Europe.
We needed a flat surface, a level with less than 1 degree of slope. This would minimize construction problems by enabling us to keep all of our tunnels on the same level.
So
we finally picked 3 hours if everything went well.
They come to Greenland and they sled all this stuff in to build this underground thing, right?
Treads pulled the heavy swing.
I'm not saying they didn't, but
to 100 tons. Finally, like a wagon train in the Old West, the first heavy swing got underway.
I'm looking for the dog they have with them. Where's the dog?
Trailers, Wanigans, type of smaller
They have a dog in here called Muckluck,
These
and Muckluck is an
would
occult
average
word.
10 miles an hour and make the trip in little more than half a day. A convoy of polecats, each cargoes and mail.
So you get the idea. They're in Greenland and they're going out to build this.
To turn around and go back. A compass was useless this close to the. A system of.
So this is what the base they're building is supposed to be like. Under the ice, right?
23 trenches would be dug into the ice cap and then covered with steel arches and snow. Branching off the main communication trench would be a series of lateral trenches housing complete research, laboratory, and test facilities, modern living quarters and recreation areas, and a complex of support facilities. Since transporting great quantities of diesel fuel over vast Arctic wastes was impractical, we would install a nuclear power plant.
Did you just hear that? We're going to install a nuclear power plant in Greenland, in the middle of nowhere. This was 1959 also. Okay, a little bit before like portable Walkmans and CD players. Oh, we just got nuclear portable generators. And they do put one in here. The funny thing is how they show you they dug this base out. They're doing it with fucking shovels and snow blowers. It's like, did you ever shovel a pavement? I live in Philly. You ever shovel like 2 feet of snow off a pavement? It's not an easy task. That's all I'm saying.
Capable of making extremely precise cuts. It was usually operated by 2 men, one controlling the machine.
Oh, there goes Muckluck.
Several feet deep.
See him? Right there.
Planks were put down on the shoulders of the cut. Later on, these planks would be used to support the steel arch roof which would cover the trench.
So this is what they show you, how they made this underground base. Yeah, they're just out here playing in the snow.
Camp Century was starting to grow, and so was Muckluck.
Muckluck, you hear the dog's
We
name?
used 3 Peter plows to cut all the different trenches.
Rhyming words are,
By making a
that's
series
part of
of
witchcraft.
undercuts, the width of most of the lateral trenches was greater at the bottom than at the top.
There was another video I was going to pull up, but I didn't think it would be too good for this video. In Washington, D.C., during his administration, Barack Obama built tunnels under Washington, D.C. They said that it was for drainage, sewer drainage. Washington, D.C. was flooded about a month and a half ago? Just saying. So, yeah, this is the idea here. Project Iceworm, which is an occultic word itself, like Blue Jay, Project Blue Jay, the other one, Iceworm. What does a worm do? It bores through and digs tunnels, right? I think that this Camp Century was a front for tunnel building in Greenland. And they would need tunnels for a few things. Probably, yeah, to get supplies in, maybe fresh food and agriculture, but mainly in the Roman pantheon, when you're a pagan, that specifically requires sacrifices to the gods and goddesses. Yeah, there's blood being spilt. So we got goats going down there. We got kids, goats, humans. It's all sacrifice. Yeah, and ritual is very important to them. It's more important than money. Democrats, corrupt politicians, drug dealers, yeah, where they operate on money. No, Rome, yeah, they control it, but what's more important to them is the human suffering and occult ritual. That is their currency. They control the wealth on this planet, so there's no reason why they need to acquire it.
Cut down on the amount of roofing material required. Before long, the first roofs began to go into place.
Now, here, like when they stop at this scene, right? You're supposed to expect they were going from shovels.
Most of the lateral trenches
right?
was greater at
They
the
had a little
bottom
snowblower
than at the
thing
top.
here.
This cut down on the amount of roofing material required. Before long, the first
Look at
roofs
that.
began to go into place.
Now they're putting a metal roof on it. These are starting to look like deep underground tunnels. Yeah, look at those.
Could be put up very quickly.
This is crazy.
By this time, we had a crew working in a snow quarry, cutting large bricks of snow.
Alright, this is where it gets great. Alright, so they built this with a bunch of guys just cutting bricks of snow. Like Eskimos do? Are you kidding me?
In this way, we made maximum use of the materials available at the site. Somehow, muckluck seemed to be everywhere. All
Muckluck seem to be everywhere. What's interesting, you don't like watching documentaries with Ken, huh? Because I keep pausing. Huh? Muckluck, the reason I paused here, do you know there's a cornerstone, like everything they build, there's symbolism right in this screenshot here when they have this snow brick. Like the brick of the White House. The Freemasons say it was baptized with red wine and rice, but some of us think that was actually blood and semen. They said red wine and rice. I'm saying blood and semen. But their cornerstone at the White House in Washington, D.C., and every other building, we got a lot of them in Philly, very old city, a lot of our Masonic buildings downtown, they're laid with what's called cornerstones. And those cornerstones usually have a sacrifice performed on them. Then they just happen to show you Muckluck. Muckluck's all up on the, yeah, look at him.
making himself useful.
See how he's picking the bricks up? I'm a master of symbolism. It blows people's mind. They're like, how do you watch documentaries and this shit pops out to you? Well, it's what I do, right? So now this little igloo is turning into,
Covered with snow.
I'm going to move ahead a little
These
bit.
buildings would provide space
Show you
for
more.
comfortable working and living under the ice.
Yeah, they're building
Since
this.
every unit had been checked out in advance, our crews could put up one of these buildings in less than a day.
This is crazy, ain't it?
As soon as the shell was completed, crews began to wire the buildings for interim power provided by diesel generators.
Now here's one part here.
Sizes and shapes. One of our proudest achievements was our solution of the water problem.
Now here's what makes a lot of sense from the Roman perspective. You have an unlimited supply of fresh, 100% pure water living in Greenland, because what they did right here is they just tapped below the glacier and they got pure
A steam hose with a special
water.
drilling nozzle was used to melt a hole.
You're not going to run out of
3.5
water,
feet in
which is
120 feet down into the ice cap until a pool of water formed which did not drain off. This pool provided 10,000 gallons of fresh water daily. Throughout the camp, an extensive electrical system was now installed. For electrical heating would not only be clean, but it would also reduce the threat of fire. And fire was the worst hazard under the ice.
so. All right, now you see this. This went from just being a little igloo built by shovels to they got a whole fucking city going on here. Electrical, plumbing. They got water running. And remember, Rome perfected all this stuff. Rome are the ones that first built aqueducts to expand their civilization. So they got infrastructure going on in this little underground camp now. Now they're going to pull up the nuclear generator. Here, this is funny.
With the recreational opportunities at hand, bronco busting was one.
This is a Masonic ritual. You see this bronco busting they're doing here?
To amuse themselves with the recreational opportunities at hand.
These are like games that they do inside lodges. Very Masonic right there.
Bronco busting was one favorite pastime. By this time, Muckluck was almost full grown. By early July, most of the heavy construction work on the team of heavy swings moving back and forth across the ice more than any other single factor that made it possible for us to complete Camp Century on schedule.
And alright, now start to look at this thing. This thing's starting to look like anyone ever see Camp watch Stargate? You see Camp Cheyenne, the entrance to it. Look at this thing. And they just start out in the middle of Greenland with some shovels and some snow blowers, and now they got a nuclear power generator going in.
A maintenance shop was constructed closer to the
Here's the generator coming.
operation and the most difficult. This unit, for example, part of a vapor container, weighed more than 21 tons. Awkward to handle and with high centers of gravity, these packages were delivered to the ice cap over a road built specifically for their transport.
Pause here. Built by Alco Products Incorporated, Schenectady, New York, for U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, portable nuclear power plant. Now that's just the shell, but I guarantee you, in 1959, you look up Alco Products Incorporated. They probably got a lot of deep state CIA projects in that company. That's how you investigate government contracts and all that. Yeah. So go look into Alco Products out of Schenectady. How do you say that? Schenectady, New York. I know the Clintons live in New York, right?
More than 400 tons of piping and machinery.
So they move a nuclear generator into here.
The vapor container, the largest single, began filling with snow.
Now here's underground again. This is really starting to look like, yeah. The only thing they don't show in this documentary is like, when did you put down the railroad tracks and the maglev trains and start bringing in the kids? That's like the only thing you're not showing. Now, Camp Century was abandoned with the nuclear generator under the ice still, supposedly. Because I think, here's them putting the generator in now.
Next phase was to be the activation of the nuclear.
If anyone's wondering, Documentary Tube is where I get these documentaries from. I'll give you the link. There's a lot of old war communist propaganda films from the 1950s. You ever see them? If your neighbor's a communist, you better report them. I'll get reported for reporting communists now. That's all I'm saying. Kind of crazy how the word.
Power plant.
Right?
Wearing the white safety hat is Captain Jim Barnett, in charge of this operation.
Now look, these guys are even putting they're even putting nuclear rods into the power plant. Look what they're wearing.
Coefficient of reactivity 0.9.
They got some foot booties on and some gloves.
When all
Those are uranium rods.
we began to transfer the fuel elements one by one and started loading the reactor core.
Listen, you don't put a nuclear-powered reactor into an underground fucking igloo if there isn't something bigger going on. That's all I'm saying. This is, and look at those tunnels they built. You really expect me to believe they did that with some snow blowers and shovels? When did they bring in the top-secret boring equipment? The ones that Phil Schneider was talking about, that he used at Dulce base when he got in a fight with the alien Greys, talking about building the dumbs and the tunnels that connect all throughout America. The ones that have been flooding recently, or I don't know. So yeah, that's Camp Century. And here's kind of what it looks like underground again. Pretty amazing, right? Just going from digging with some shovels in the snow to getting a nuclear power generator and a full functioning city working now. Then They abandoned it. I found this documentary. This abandoned nuclear city is trapped under ice. What happens if it falls? Well, I don't think Greenland's going to fall right now, but yeah, supposedly they abandoned it, right? This guy's around here. He's looking for the underground city that was built by Camp Century. That's what it was
on
called.
the assumption that
And so they're looking for it. Yeah, whatever.
energy that
Good
goes
luck,
down into
right?
the ice, and then it reflects off different things. It comes back to a receiver. It was 80 kilometers in total. That was a lot of radar.
They turned those radar profiles into a 3D map of the entire debris field.
So, yeah, at Camp Century, yeah. Why did we abandon Camp Century? Because I think Camp Century was just a front to build more underground tunnels for Rome. And being that probably America had the best equipment to do it at that time, being that we kind of the technological front, and right after World War II, this was 1959. Yeah, they contracted us, and they did it under the bullshit guise of quote unquote the Cold War, so we could spy on Russia. Russia. It's always Russia, isn't it? Oh, them damn pesky Russians, right? Are there giants there? Sweet Delight. I don't think so. I don't know. Greenland's kind of remote. I know that like pretty much there's like seals and polar bears there. There's nothing really in Greenland to look at. But there is something that gets a little crazy. I'm going to show you a clip from a documentary I watched. This is Greenland, the largest island in the world. And this is like a little settlement in Greenland. And there's this guy out here who's getting goods delivered to him from a local. But the guy's name is very Italian. Just listen to this. This is strange.
On the outskirts of Tasida, somewhat off the beaten track, lies the Red House.
Yeah, and it's called the Red House. I find that red is the color of Rome.
Viggo Mikaelsen, Tobias' hunting colleague, delivers fresh seal meat to the boarding house. The operator has ordered it. Robert Peroni.
Robert Peroni. Peroni sounds... I could be wrong. It sounds Italian to me. Robert Peroni.
Robert is 76 years old, originally from...
Does he look Italian?
South Tyrol, and has been running the small hotel in Tasida for more than 25 years.
Now, it would make a lot of sense. If Rome took over Greenland and was operating from there, they would have... you would call them lords in England, Rome. They're not senators. They're, I forget the exact word for them. They're the higher level people in society that basically live in huge, like, mansions and have, like, people waiting on them. But I found that pretty interesting. Just some strange Italian 76-year-old guy in here in Greenland. Peroni is his last name. It sounds,
Robert is 76 years old, originally from... Robert is 76...
Hear his name again.
Delivers fresh seal meat to the boarding house. The operator has ordered it. Robert Peroni. Robert is 76 years old, originally from...
Maybe he's delivering a little more of some seals, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, what's... Peroni. Now, Sweet Delight, Peroni. Does that sound like an Italian name? I think it does. I just find that pretty strange. Why would an Italian go retire in Greenland? Why wouldn't you retire in the Mediterranean, right? Usually older people, they go to warmer climates when they retire. Who goes to Greenland? Whatever. Strange, right? When I watch documentaries, that's what happens. It's like little things pop out to me, and I just thought that was really weird. This is from Free High Quality Documentaries. It's a YouTube channel I go to watch a lot of good docs. So, yeah, is there underground bases and cities in Greenland? Yeah, and we have the proof from the U.S. Army that we built them. We have Camp Thule there. We have Camp Century, and there are a few other underground bases that were built that were classified. Just Camp Century we know about. Century obviously being like the Roman centurion, which is a military commanding officer. And yeah. So there's going to be one more video I'm going to do in this city, and that's tying together the aristocracy following Denmark and the bloodlines that are ruling Denmark to Swiss banking, all the way back to the Vatican, and follow the money, follow the blood, right? And that's kind of Rome and the Greenland theory. Rome never went out of power, although I do believe there's something challenging Rome right now, because we're not being given the Roman way of life right now. Jerry Gordon Peroni. Yeah, it sounded Italian to me. I came back north to retire. Yeah, he's Italian for sure. And you know what's funny is when you watch these documentaries, why do they point that out? Why do they got to specifically mention Peroni? They could have just said, hey, this is Joe, he owns the Red House. No, Joe Peroni. Yeah, giving you that. Joe Peroni's also getting fresh ravioli delivered and some children. So in all honesty, I think some of these houses you see here in Greenland are probably connected to dumbs. A lot of everything that's going on is probably below the ground. And that's how Rome has stayed hidden since stay under the ground. Yeah, makes sense for a lot of reptiles now, wouldn't it? And who's going to mess with Greenland, right? You never hear Denmark making the news. You don't hear about Greenland. Just like you don't hear about Mongolia with the cynocephaly. So, yeah, definitely. And I've heard other people picking up on Rome and the Greenland theory since I've been making the videos. There are other people talking about it now. They are saying, hey, you know what? This is really starting to make sense. Like, what is going on here? You don't have to apologize, Steph. It's okay. Fine. Let me just go check on the live. Also, anyone's able to help out with donations, all my links are in the, let me mute that. All the links are in the description. I'm over at DLive. Uni Clemon, thanks for the ice creams. What's going on Twitch? Get too many people watching that Twitch. Someone's over there. It looks pretty in the white snow. Oh, one untempered tuner fish? Is that your name? I think I got that right. Okay, over at Twitch. Or if you want to buy Teespring merchandise, everything's over there. So far, I haven't been banned off Facebook. Yeah, we're streaming on Facebook. So who owns Greenland? Supposedly Denmark. That's in the question because on the last video, we got to look at the aristocracy of Denmark. And why does nobody mess with Denmark? How does Greenland have so much natural resources under the ice and no one's going there to mine it? You never heard about mines being built in Greenland, which is what I find very, very, very telling. Nobody's building mines. We're building underground military installations to spy on Russia. No one's mining the gold. Yeah. No one's looking for oil in Greenland. Yeah, the Danish government. Yeah. The Danish people are not. Yeah, that ties in with the Dutch, and the Dutch were another sailing race that sailed all around the world on behalf of Rome. Same thing with England and Spain. So anyway, it's the fourth video in Rome and the Greek. The last one, I don't know when I'll do it. It's going to be about the bloodlines of Rome. If you want to watch the other videos, they're on my channel. Just put Rome into the search engine. I've done multiple videos on them. Yeah. Okay, I'm reading the comments. Yeah, Steph, I think the only other place I need to stream out to is LBRY. But that's it. I stream out to 4 platforms at one time, usually with no problems. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Sweet Delight, you missed the video that President Trump did talk about buying Greenland. And I found that funny Was he throwing some symbolism out there? So anyway, again, tomorrow night we're gonna stream. We'll have some fun tomorrow night. And also tomorrow night I got permission to use music from a subscriber of mine who writes punk rock music, and he just wrote a song called "Triggered." It's about SJWs. So I got permission to play that on a stream. We'll do that tomorrow night. How does that sound? We're gonna have some fun tomorrow. I'm gonna show you some reptilian videos. We'll talk about reptilians tomorrow night. I figured tomorrow's Friday night. We'll have fun. Maybe over the weekend I'll do the stream about the Cynocephali and the Mongolians, but that's all. Yeah, Odyssey does live stream. I have 3 channels at Odyssey. I don't know which one I'm going to stream onto. Sean, I'm not going to do a stream and then go over to Rumble and talk spicy. It's not really what I'm looking to do. I want these videos to be like, when I stream them, people can go back and rewatch them or whatever. I don't want to make videos, and I do it a lot. I rant and I delete them off YouTube. No, it's okay. If you want to hear me rant, my Rumble link's in the description. I talk on Rumble without censorship. But as far as doing streams on what's really going on, I'm going to be honest with you. There's so much disinformation going on, and I'm just conjecture. I'm not touching it right now. If you don't think something's going on besides just a normal presidential election with a normal democracy going on, I don't know what to tell you, because this shit is like, I can't even keep up with it. It's Joe Biden just said that all Trump supporters were like the Democrats who owned slaves during the Civil War. Yeah, you heard that. I'm done with these people. So, when am I getting my teeth pulled? I think next week. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. So anyway, that's going to be all for the stream. If anyone's able to help out with donations, all the links are in the description. Questions or comments, leave them below. God bless.